Look at a photo of a chimpanzee. Really look at its eyes. You can see the dark iris, you can see the pupil. What you can't see is the white part, because there isn't one. A chimpanzee's sclera, the part of your eye surrounding the colored center, is almost the same brown as the iris sitting inside it, which means from a few feet away, you cannot tell where a chimpanzee is looking. Its eyes are camouflaged inside its own face. Now look at a human, any human, a stranger on the street, a baby, your own reflection. A huge ring of white around a small colored circle built specifically to make one thing obvious, exactly where you are looking. Out of well over 200 species of primates alive today, humans are the only one built this way. Every other ape, chimpanzees, bonobos, gorillas, orangutans, has dark, hidden sclera. We are the one exception. And once you understand why that happened, you'll never look at a face the same way again. In 1997, two Japanese researchers, Hiromi Kobayashi and Shiro Koshima, sat down and measured the eyes of dozens of primate species. Sclera color, sclera size. How much white was actually visible in each species' resting face? Across nearly the entire primate order, the pattern held. Small, dark, hidden sclera. Humans were the outlier by a wide margin, sclera up to 4 times larger than would be expected for an ape our size, and blazing white rather than brown. So the question became obvious. If hiding your gaze is the normal strategy for every other primate, why did humans evolve the opposite? Think about what a hidden gaze is actually for. If you're a monkey stalking fruit and a bigger monkey is nearby, you don't want it to know exactly where your attention is. If you're prey, watching a leopard watching you, you don't want the leopard to know you've spotted it. Gaze direction is information, and for most of primate history, handing that information away for free was dangerous. So evolution kept it hidden. Humans did the exact opposite. We evolved eyes built to broadcast exactly where our attention is to everyone around us at all times. That should be a massive disadvantage, unless the thing you gained from being readable mattered more than the thing you lost from being hideable. In 2007, the anthropologist Michael Tomasello ran an experiment built to test this directly. He and his team showed food to chimpanzees, bonobos, gorillas, and orangutans using 2 different signals. Sometimes a researcher turned only their head toward the food, eyes closed. Sometimes a researcher kept their head still and only moved their eyes. The apes followed the head movement just fine, but the eyes alone barely registered. Then they ran the same test on human 1-year-olds, babies who couldn't even talk yet. The babies followed the eyes alone, easily, even when the head never moved at all. Something in a human infant's brain is already wired to treat another person's gaze as meaningful information worth tracking months before that child understands a single word. It gets stranger. Psychologist Dare Baldwin ran studies in the early 1990s showing that toddlers use exactly this skill to learn language itself. If an adult says a new word while looking at one object, a toddler will assume the word belongs to whatever the adult was looking at, not whatever toy happened to be in the toddler's own hands at that moment. Take away the ability to track a gaze precisely, and you don't just lose a party trick. You lose one of the main tools a human child has for learning what words mean at all. Some researchers studying autism have found that reduced attention to other people's eyes and less automatic gaze following in infancy shows up as one early marker worth watching for, though it's one piece among many, not a test on its own, which tells you how much weight this one small ring of white is actually carrying. This isn't dinner table politeness. It's wired into how you learn to talk in the first place. Tomasello called this the cooperative eye hypothesis. The idea is that visible sclera didn't evolve despite the risk of being readable. It evolved because of it. Early humans who could silently signal where the danger was, where the food was, where to look, right now, without saying a word and without a predator hearing you, could coordinate in ways no other primate could. A hunting party tracking a wounded animal through tall grass can point with their eyes alone. A mother can redirect a toddler away from a fire with a single glance. No shout required. None of that works if your gaze is invisible. The same trait that makes you vulnerable, being impossible to hide from, also makes you capable of a kind of teamwork no other primate can manage. This connects to something else, something you've probably already noticed without realizing it. Dogs. Wolves, their closest wild relative, are famously bad at reading human gaze. Raise a wolf pup by hand from birth, and it still won't reliably follow where you're looking. Dogs do it instinctively, often within their first few months of life. better than our closest primate relatives can. Researchers studying dog domestication, including work by Brian Hare and Vanessa Woods, argue that as animals get selectively bred or evolve toward cooperation and reduced aggression, they tend to develop lighter, more visible markings. Patches of white fur, floppy ears, eyes easier to read. It's sometimes called the domestication syndrome, and some researchers think humans went through a version of the same process, just self-directed, favoring cooperative, less aggressive individuals over hundreds of thousands of years. If that's right, your white sclera might be sitting in the same category as a dog's floppy ears. Not a separate trait, but a side effect of becoming a fundamentally more cooperative animal. That same white background does something else most people never think about. It works like a warning label for your own health. A faint yellow tint can point to liver trouble. Redness can mean you haven't slept, or that you've been drinking, or that you're fighting off an infection. Researchers studying mate preference across cultures have found that people consistently rate whiter, clearer sclera as more attractive and more youthful, even when nothing else about the face changes. You cannot easily fake white, clear eyes the way you can fake a smile or a compliment. So that ring around your iris isn't only telling people where you're looking, it's been quietly advertising how healthy you are this entire time. There's a cost to all this that shows up in ways you've felt, but maybe never named. Your pupils are not under your control. In the 1960s, a psychologist named Eckhard Hess found that people's pupils dilate involuntarily when they look at something they find genuinely interesting, a piece of food when hungry, a person they're attracted to, even just an appealing photograph. You cannot fake this. You cannot suppress it by trying hard enough. Which means for your entire life, your eyes have been quietly broadcasting your actual interest to everyone looking closely enough to notice. Professional poker players figured this out long before scientists gave it a name. Sunglasses at the table aren't about looking cool. They're about hiding the one part of the face that gives away a strong hand before you've said a word. So here's what all of this actually adds up to. Every other primate evolved to keep its intentions hidden inside its own skull. Humans evolved in the opposite direction, wearing our attention, our interest, our fear, right there on the surface of our face, for anyone to read. We call it eye contact like it's a small, polite gesture. Something you do at a job interview or a first date. It's actually one of the oldest, strangest bets our species ever made. That being readable, being impossible to hide from, would pay off more than staying hidden ever did. So far, it has. Every conversation you've ever had, every time someone said they could tell you were lying just by looking at your face, every moment you've locked eyes with a stranger across a room and felt like something passed between you without a single word, that's 300,000 years of a trade our ancestors made, still running every time you open your eyes.